This one's about this is definitely about how I'm playing it a little too safe, right? And I got to start swinging for the fences, and we're going to get right into that in just 1 minute. So let's go. Hopefully, you guys are having a great morning. Hopefully, you're out there doing something beautiful. Hopefully, the world is responding to all the good energy you're putting out there, guys. We gonna get this thing popping in about 45 seconds, man. Let's get it. For those just coming on, for those it's their first time, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the 1028, man. This channel is all about bringing you value. This channel is all about giving you giving you the some of the gems that I've collected on this journey that I had, this beautiful life that I have, that I'm living. So that's what it's about, man. And like I said, we're going to get right to it. I'm just sharing this thing off to as many platforms as possible. It's always good to get a better reach. And if you guys are in the comment section, please don't be scared to comment. That's what this thing's about. It's about communication. It's about us sharing our experiences. And let's get this thing popping, guys. It's that time. It is that time. All right, so I'm going to take this off the screen. You guys can follow on at the 1028 on Facebook, or also the 1028 podcast on YouTube, where you'll be able to see all of these lives and all the whole stream. So if you're coming in and you're coming in halfway in and you want to rewatch it, you can't find it on my feed, you can always go. You can always go to the YouTube channel, and that is a place where you'll be able to watch the whole thing over again. All right. So like I said, it's time, man. It's time. Let's rock and roll. So I'm gonna start it like this. This morning, just like every morning, I start my mornings off with a routine. But this morning, I went into the coffee shop, and a good friend of mine's Red Hot Coffee. Let me get that out for you. Here we go, right here. Red Hot Coffee, best coffee in Pittsburgh. Those guys need to. Maybe I might have my first sponsor. But anyway, I went there, and the most beautiful thing happened. I was talking to a good friend of mine who's a barista there. His name is Ben, and man, just it was. We talked about. He's a very big like baseball fan. I was asking him a question like, who has the most home runs in the MLB history? And he told me, he was like, at the time it probably was like Babe Ruth or Reggie Jackson. And then he also told me something that was special. He said they also had the most they also had the most strikeouts. And I was like, damn, it hit me. It hit me right then and there. I was like, damn, man, those guys were swinging for the fences. There's a difference between trying to make contact and try to score. You know what I mean? The people that had the most home runs in MLB history also had the most strikeouts. What does that say? They're not playing it safe. They're putting everything they got into the thing that they're doing. And it's okay. They have the most successes, but they also have the most failures, right? And that's part of the process. That's what this is about. That's what this stream right here is about, right? I've been playing it too safe myself. I feel like I'm getting comfortable. I'm doing things to make sure that I'm not facing adversity, that I'm not pushing the line, I'm not pushing the limit. And how do I change that? Why is that? Why am I scared to face adversity? I faced adversity my whole life, but I think in human nature, our objective is to stay away from pain, to stay away from things that make us feel bad or uncomfortable is the real word I want to use. Uncomfortable. We can't stay away from uncomfort, because there's something important that happens with uncomfort, guys. There's something important that happens. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. That is the only place that growth resides. So we have to become uncomfortable to grow. And if it's not growing, it's dead. And I got that from Lauryn Hill in the Unplugged series. I think she said that. If it's not growing, it's dead. Think about that. Everything in this world that is alive is growing. Even a rock, right? They consider rocks to be alive, which I don't really get that. But they're still collecting minerals. They're still adding on to what they have, their foundation. They're building on top of that. So they're growing. They're growing. Trees are continuously growing. They may not get taller, but they get wider, right? That's why if you cut one down, there's always another layer each year. And that's where you get the grain. If it's not growing, it's dead. Period. That's the thing. That's the thing. And like I was talking about comfort, right? And then we were talking about home run, the home run hitters, the people that have the most home runs also have the most strikeouts. So that tells me if I'm not failing, I'm not truly trying my best. You got me? If I'm not failing, I'm not trying my best. I may be trying, and there's no failures there, but failures is so important in this process. Failure and success live on the same street, and they borrow each other's shirts. That's how important those two are. That's how connected they are. Imagine walking down the street, knocking on each door, and trying to find Mr. Success. You know, you have to miss the mark a few times to get to the right one. That's what I'm talking about there. All right, to overcome, you have to overcome this thing that this fear we have of failure, because it is truly just part of the process. And I woke up this morning and when I talked to Ben and asked him about this was the thing that resided in me. This was the thing that resonated in me, man. And I was going to wait to do this stream a little later, but it was so heavy on me and it hit me so hard that I wanted to make sure I gave this information to y'all. And hopefully this is something you can take with you, and hopefully this is something that can help you in your current process, you know, to help you move forward. And that's what the 1028 is all about, guys. That is what the 1028 is all about. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. What's up, Jimmy? How you doing, brother? It's always a pleasure to have you on here. Jimmy's another one, man. He part of the tribe, guys. Become part of the tribe and subscribe. That's what I'm telling you. Become part of the tribe and subscribe. So let's continue this conversation forward, right? The fear of failure. I don't know how many of y'all have heard this, right? But fear is spelled well, everybody knows fear is spelled F-E-A-R, and it's false evidence appearing real. A lot of times we are scared of something that doesn't even exist. That's what fear is. And like I said, it's part of every process. It's part of everything you do. If you're not feeling it, you're not in a good place. If you are feeling it, you are in a good place, because that can actually propel you, right? It will, because that means that you're pushing yourself past comfort, and that's where growth happens. So, I think it was Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. I don't know which one it is, but if you know, put it in the comments once I give you this quote. It says, "Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the triumph over it," guys. Do you hear that? Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the triumph over it. So I think the word fearless, it does not exist. And people just find a better way to consume it and to go past it. It doesn't affect certain people as much as others. The word fearless is actually a word that shouldn't exist, because everyone has it. Even those that are the most courageous. That is not the absence of fear. Like I said, it is the triumph over it. So if you are feeling that fear, congratulations. You're doing it. You're going for it. You care. You got that thing in you. You got that spirit. You know, you're not dead. You're willing to grow. If you can feel fear, that means you have room to grow. So it is a beautiful thing, actually, and that's the way we should be looking at it. We should definitely be twisting the emotion that is attached to it, or the thought that is attached to it. You know what I mean? And it's not a negative thing. It's actually a positive thing, and it should give you fuel instead of stopping you. So there was something else I wrote down this morning after I had that conversation with Ben, and I want to share it with you guys, right? The only difference between those at the top and those that want to be at the top is action. So we all have, the fear usually gives us the ability to think about all of the things that can go wrong, right? And then we get caught up in that thinking. It's like a snowball. Then we develop this thing I call analysis paralysis. We think our way out of action. And without action, a goal set without action is just a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? It's just a waste of time. So stop wasting time. Make sure when you, I know a lot of people that know a lot of things but don't do a lot of things with what they know. Don't become that person, right? They can give you all this information that can tell you how to do something but never done it themselves, because you're going to be looked at as a clown, really. When it comes to the get down, I wouldn't say a clown, but somebody whose information is not valid. You're just a talker. You're not a stepper. You got to be a stepper. The only difference between those that are doing it and those that want to do it is the ability to act, guys. It's the ability to act. So you have to act on that thing. You got to make it happen. And also, I also wrote some other things down I want to talk about as well, but I want to refresh this just to make sure if anybody's in the comments or anybody's down here doing something, I can respond to you. Let me pull the comments up on here as well. Make sure we on there. You can't think your way to the top. That's just part of it. Thinking is part of the process, but it is not everything. You can come up with a strategy, but if you don't have action behind your thoughts, you will fail 100% of the time. I have thought of some great ideas. Some great ideas, man. I've had these ideas that I feel like that could change the world. And guess what? Someone else had that same thought. And have you ever thought of something that this would be cool, and then you see it come out? And then that person becomes like a very successful person and they're living their dream. But you thought of that thing. Like I thought of that thing. The only difference between you and the person at the top is the action. They put action behind that thought, right? There was this is crazy. I was in 6th grade. For those that went to Rankin Intermediate School, and was in Woodland Hills or whatever, I had a guy, my 6th grade teacher's name was Mr. Carosa. Shout out to Mr. Carosa, or don't shout out to Mr. Carosa, but he was a great guy when it came down to it. He was actually really dope. Mr. Carosa had an assignment for us. He said, I want you to create an invention that will change the world in the future. And believe me if you want, or don't believe me if you want, at this time, this is when iPods were just coming into play, right? It was iPods. They were just coming into play. And once again, guys, you're watching the 1028. If you're not following, start following. That is part of the process. Become part of the tribe and subscribe. Go to the 1028 on YouTube or on Facebook. You can follow each one. You'll find these clips on there. You'll be able to grab the rest of this thing, right? So in Mr. Carosa, let me get back to the story. In Mr. Carosa's class, he gave us an assignment to create an invention that'll change the world in the future. And at the time, this is when iPods just became a thing, where you can have 1,000 songs in your pocket and listen to them, right? You no longer had to carry around tapes or CDs and in a Walkman. He's like, you can just have this little device, download your music on it and listen. So in my mind, this is what I thought of. Let me take this off the screen. I thought of a phone that can do the same thing. I thought, I was like, what if that was in a phone? What if, and that was my invention, to create a phone that can also hold songs, and not just songs, but information, can hold documents and so forth. And I drew out a blueprint and all this other stuff like that. And also, I was so inspired that I made another assignment. I did 2 of them so I can get extra credit, because I was definitely failing. And this didn't involve reading, and I couldn't read at the time. So I was like, let me do something else to make it work. So what I did was also invented sunglasses that would change colors in the sun. And I created that. I didn't create that, but that was the assignment I turned in to Mr. Carosa. And long behold, within 2 years, the iPhone came out, which was the same idea that I had, as well as like translucent like sunglasses where they change when you go into the sun. Like mine's weren't as efficient as what they came out with, but the whole thing is I found out something today, is that I got those ideas as well. And what I was thinking, I was in the right path of thinking. The only difference between me and what Apple did creating an iPhone is I didn't have action behind it. But I did get clarification that my ideas are so valid that even the people on the top are thinking they're great ideas because they actually did something with it. So what I'm telling you is, yeah, you have great ideas. Your ideas out there are magnificent. They're marvelous. They're beautiful. They are everything you think they are, but they will not be put into the world if you don't act on that. So act, goddammit. Stop playing it safe. All right, all right, guys. Man, I think I ran it. I had enough. I think that was a good enough rant. Hopefully that gave you some energy to get through your day. This is Corey. I'm Corey Ochai. This is the 1028 podcast. Like I said, you can follow us on all platforms. That's Instagram as well. Don't forget, Instagram's also up there, and Twitter. I'm not really big on Twitter, but since Elon Musk grabbed it, guys, I'm damn sure going to make that thing happen and start being on there, drop a sing. What up, Face? What's up, Keith Parr on the house, man? Keith Parr, bro. Man, you mean a lot to me, bro. I'm so inspired when I watch your feeds, bro. You're going for it, and I appreciate it. I respect you, especially to see where you came from and where you're at now. You're a flat out entrepreneur, my guy, and keep killing it, bro. Keep killing it. We see you. We see you. Uh, all right, man. And besides that, I'm out of here. Go out there, do something beautiful. The world's counting on you, and don't forget, this world is a blank canvas. Goddamn it, this is a blank canvas, and it's up to each and every one of us to grab a paintbrush and help paint this masterpiece together, man. Let's do it for the kids. All right, guys, we out. Have a beautiful day. Don't forget, this is the 1028, and everything you think you are and everything you think you can do, you're absolutely right. You can do it. So go out there and do it. Peace.